Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello everyone. This is Sajid Qureshi with the degrees of adjectives. In this video, you will learn the degrees of adjectives which are positive, comparative and superlative. Here I would like to tell you that all these degrees of adjectives are divided into three groups. Group 1, Group 2 and Group 3. In Group 1, there are degrees of adjectives which are changed or which are made comparative and superlative with the same way. For example, the word tall can be made comparative by adding er, taller, and by making superlative by adding est, tallest. Tall, taller than and the tallest, or small, smaller than or the smallest, or short, shorter than or the shortest, or big, bigger than or the biggest. So these are same type of adjectives which are made superlative, comparative and superlative this way by adding er or est. And then there are adjectives which are ending at y. You remove y in comparative and add ier. Lazy, lazier, laziest. Okay, and I have written this in comparative then because you should know when you are using a comparative adjective, you are comparing two things or two people, two persons you are comparing. So that's why this is very important. Then you use tha and then he is taller than I. Okay, or Ali is better than Aslam. So this then is used in comparative. Superlative degree is used when you see that in one area, in one scenario, the person is the best of all. Okay, for example, a student who is the tallest in the class, you can use he is the tallest boy in the class, or he is the best student in our college. So you have to use the definite article the with the superlative degree, and this group is made comparative and superlative by adding er, ier or est or iest. Okay. Now let's come to the second group. The second group of adjectives are those in which we do not make any changes in the adjectives, but we add more in comparative and most in superlative. When you are making more, you have to use than at the end, and when you are using most, you have to use the in the beginning. Okay. For example, interesting, more interesting than, the most interesting. Okay, this book or this novel is more interesting than what I read the last week, or this is the most interesting movie I watched. Okay, so you have to use this. There is no certain rule, but there are adjectives which have more than two syllables. Syllables are which with one chest pulse you make a sound. For example, interesting. So this word has four syllables, interesting. So these four syllable word will take more in comparative and the most in superlative, but not necessarily all longer word like interesting, beautiful, courageous. They will be made superlative and comparative and superlative by adding more and most. Okay, but there is a word, there is always there is an exception. So active is an exception here. It's not a very long adjective, but it's a short adjective with only two syllables, active. Even then it will take more in comparative and most in superlative. So there are words, but you have to learn this with the practice, which adjectives will be used with more and most, and which will be added by er or est or ier or iest. So this is the second group. First group by adding er or est in comparative and superlative. Second group by adding more and most in comparative and superlative. Remember, when you are using er or est, you do not use more or most. For example, sometimes students make mistakes by saying that this is more easier than, this work is more easier than that. So it's absolutely wrong grammatically, because you are using er also with that and more also with that. So both, this is wrong. If you are adding ier or er, you will not add more or most with that. So remember, the third group is called irregular adjectives. In this irregular adjectives, all these three adjectives are different. Positive is good, comparative is better, and superlative is best. Good, better than, the best. Okay. Um, my last week's work was better than this week, or my last month's work the best, which I have already done. Bad, bad has the comparative degree worse, W-O-R-S-E, worse, worse than, and the superlative the worst. Okay. Similarly, little, little we can use with a little also. It's an adjective. Less, L-E-S-S, less is the comparative, and the least is the superlative degree. So these are limited. This group, there are unlimited adjectives. This group, unlimited adjectives, but the third group, adjectives, are limited. So I hope you have understood these positive, comparative, superlative degrees of adjectives with these groups, group 1, group 2, group 3. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.